to Recollections May Vary, a royal recap. I'm Kinsey Schofield here with Maureen Callahan, host of The Nerve with Maureen Callahan, available on podcasts and YouTube. I was just watching an episode where you were tearing into Hilaria Baldwin over her Warhols and claiming to the journalist, "Oh, I'm so embarrassed that you're here and seeing all these portraits of myself on the wall." I mean, the audacity. She's just, it's hard to believe she's real.
It's the level of fakeness and inauthenticity. Again, only Meghan Markle can rival it. She's like, she has the New York Times into her home, which is a very pre-scheduled, we're arranging our talking points. Here's what you can ask. Here's what you can't. And the journalist comes in and she's, and Hilaria is like, oh my God, if only I had known you were coming, I would have removed this giant monument to myself from my living room. But there we are, her fake Warhol.
Yeah, exactly. Could you see Meghan Markle doing Dancing with the Stars? I feel like she would want to.
Are we dancing for social justice? Are we dancing against
Girl,
racism?
we gave up social justice the second Jam entered the picture.
True enough. True enough. I'm very, by the way, we did a piece on The Nerve about her Bloomberg interview, taking it out back and taking it apart. That thing, I mean, that is some unintentional hilarity right there. That Bloomberg piece.
Who advises her? Well, you said the same thing about the interview with Hillary Baldwin. You were like, nobody's asking tough questions anymore. And that's the same thing I'd say about Meghan. She refuses to give them any sort of sales insight. If I'm Bloomberg and I'm a business entity or I'm a business outlet, I feel like I say to Meghan Markle, who clearly wants an interview with me, I don't see the value in doing this interview unless we talk about tough things, about business. I mean, it was like a fluff piece.
It was so embarrassing. Again, legacy media wonders. This woman sat down with Meghan and asks the question, Kinsey, that no one has ever asked. Do you own your own story? Excuse me while I hold space over here, and look for my truth. Do you own if you don't own your story, who does? And then she says, the other question I loved, which is, we're looking really deep into Meghan's eyes. We've got our hand on so we're very serious. We're very serious.
Oh, yeah.
If there's just one thing you wish people could know about you that they don't, one thing. And Meghan's like really stumped. Meghan's really stumped. It's like, hey, can you recite the periodic table front to back? Meghan's like,
wait, by the way, we know through Drew Barrymore that Meghan likes to approve the questions first. So whenever she takes one of those beats where she's like, I just feel like it's a Suits moment where she gets to pretend to be an actress again, because according to the Drew Barrymore show, like, she gets a lot of these questions, if not all the questions, in advance.
Oh my God, I totally forgot. I feel so naive that she was like caught off guard by this hardball lobbed by one Emily Chang, Reporter of the Year.
Exactly. And then the question about, like, how do you balance being a duchess? And it's like, I almost cursed right there, but it's like, this girl is not a duchess. She is a Montecito mama. Like, she gave up that job a long time ago. I don't understand why people like Emily cater to her and allow the Duchess thing, but she's not doing one damn Duchess thing. I mean, she's really given up, for the most part, all of her charity work. So we don't even have those cute little moments that we get with Catherine, Princess of Wales, where there are children crawling all over her, or she's laughing with the elderly, or, Meghan, how does she balance it? She has hijacked the name and refused to do any of the heavy lifting. So let's not allow her the privilege of being called Duchess. Hey guys, I want to take a minute to tell you about a brand I really love, Peak. They're reimagining wellness with science-backed tea crystals and superfood blends made with the cleanest ingredients. Everything they create is designed to make daily rituals simple and effective. Whether for gut health, radiant skin, steady energy, or just feeling your best. For me, hydration was always tricky. I drank plenty of water, tried different electrolytes, and even used the right skincare, but still had dry skin, brain fog, and trouble sleeping. That changed with Peak's deep hydration protocol. In the morning, I take BT Fountain, the beauty electrolyte. It hydrates from within, smooths skin, and gives steady energy. At night, I wind down with RE Fountain, the calming electrolyte, which has a form of magnesium that just melts tension and helps me sleep deeply without grogginess. Ah, the grogginess. It gets to you with these weird hours. What I love most is how clean it is. No sugar, fillers, or artificial flavors, just ingredients like lemon juice and beetroot. Within a week, my skin looked more hydrated. My focus was sharper, and I just felt better. If you want to give it a try, I've got a special link in the show notes down below just for you, 20% off for life, plus a free gift with my link, pinklife.com/Kinsey. That's PIQUE life.com/Kinsey. Peak Life. I hope you'll take advantage of the offer. Back to the show.
Kinsey, I've got to ask you, I'm dying to know your thoughts on the recent Rob Shooter report that Harry, before he boarded that plane out of LAX to go and try to get a meeting with his own father, he has a list of demands, according to Rob Shooter, one of which included HRH in spirit, if not letter of the law, for Meghan, and that other royals bow and curtsy to her in her presence. Do you think that is true?
I feel like Rob Shooter lost me a while ago.
Really?
But
Really?
of the list of demands, that was the only one I couldn't dismiss. Like the first list was that he wanted the king to pay for his security, to which I would say the government already does. 9 out of 10 times, Prince Harry gives Ravik a heads up and says, here's when I'm coming. He has to give them 28 days notice, and he has to give them their itinerary. They look at the threat level and determine based on when he's coming and what he's doing, what kind of security detail he needs. He has government paid security 9 out of 10 times. Like he can go on TV all he wants and cry about it. I think that's more for public sympathy. And then B, the idea that he wants Buckingham Palace to handle their PR when they're there. I mean, that's such an anti-Sussex move with this particular trip. He's there for 4 days and has handpicked Sussex-friendly media to attend certain events with him. So he's not going to give, he just did an entire book and series about how Buckingham Palace threw his wife to the wolves. Why would he trust Buckingham Palace to manage any media for him while he's in the UK? So those two things stink to me. But the insisting that his wife is treated like an HRH, the audacity of that is the only thing that I feel is credible of that report.
And it also, to your point about things that make sense or don't make sense, it's interesting because you really can't ever, this is why I get thrown by stuff like this. What you just said about Buckingham Palace makes perfect sense, but these two don't apply logic to anything. Because if you are fleeing a family that you say is not only racist, but that and then ignored your pleas for mental help, that you felt suicidal while pregnant with your first child, and the royal said, not happening. We don't care if you kill yourself. This is what she's telling us via Oprah, Mistress of the Dark Arts. Why you would then want the HRH appellation, why you would then want royals to bow to you when you move to America to get rid of all. See, none of it makes any sense. So I'm constantly in a state of flummox, I suppose.
Right. No, I mean, but it's the only thing that keeps Harry and Meghan interesting, because otherwise they're not very interesting. They're not talented. They are not creative. Like I at least wish Meghan Markle were a little creative. I walked away from season 2 knowing how to pack my luggage, something I feel like I've known for 40 years. So, I feel like that's the only thing that makes them interesting. The fact that we can't predict what they're going to do next, because most of their decisions are just not the opposite of common sense. I wanted to ask you about this specific story. Meghan Markle urged to learn from Carolyn Bessette-Kennedy's press struggles. You've covered this JFK documentary from CNN on your show at great length. I'm almost offended by a lot. God, you and I love Tina Brown, but I'm
Hmm.
almost offended by Tina Brown comparing the two within this documentary. Did
Hmm.
you have the same thought when you saw that moment when you were watching? And do you have any reaction to anybody trying to compare Carolyn Bessette-Kennedy to Meghan Markle? And also, give me your thoughts on Carolyn before we go there so that I have a better, like if you say, yeah, they are similar, is it because you don't like Carolyn or is it, do you know what I mean?
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think, I wrote about Carolyn a lot in Ask Not, and I spoke to friends of hers who have never spoken before. And what they gave me was a very nuanced, interesting, complicated depiction of a woman who, despite the line that the legacy media toes, and Tina Brown's doing it like a servant in this documentary, saying, oh, Carolyn just didn't know what she was getting into. Carolyn knew exactly what she was getting into. She pursued this guy like she was SEAL Team 6 and he was Bin Laden. Okay. She wanted all of it. And then what happened is she got behind closed doors and she really saw what it was like. The public facing version, Camelot, the fairy tale, the most eligible bachelor in the world. You get behind the scenes, it's grimy, it's grubby, it's seamy. And she married a guy who, unlike her, wasn't very bright, wasn't very engaged with the culture, wasn't very interesting, and had everything handed to him. So what she basically got was a sanded down beta male. That is the only thing Meghan has in common with Carolyn. That and the fixation on Diana. Carolyn thought that she was the second coming of Diana and that she was going to meet a similar end. And even JFK Jr. was like, you're out of your mind. You're
Wow.
nothing like Diana. And we know that Meghan, thanks to so much of your own reporting, your direct sourcing, also believes that she is the second coming of Meghan Markle. I've heard much the same from people who would know. Sorry, Meghan Markle believes she's the second coming of Diana. But that's it. That's really it.
Yeah. She says, as we've seen with Meghan and Harry, there was quite a lot about Carolyn that was a bit Meghan-ish. Brown compared the two women who, one who married into America's Camelot, the other Britain's royalty, that Carolyn had wanted in for all these reasons. There was glamour and elegance, but that came with so much pressure in terms of the monster of the media that she fell apart, really. In your book, I did get the sense, Ask Not, that JFK Jr., I think he felt for her a little bit when it came to her, how uncomfortable she was with the media attention. But he almost towards the end was not as sympathetic as I felt like he should have been. Or maybe she wasn't strong enough. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was a combination of the two. She would say to him more than once when he couldn't understand why she just couldn't get with the program and be a perfect Kennedy wife. She would say, I didn't get the effing employee handbook.
Yeah.
And even John's friends who knew the deal in being friends with John Kennedy was that he did whatever he wanted. He was as thoughtless and entitled and spoiled as he could be, and you just went along with it because that was the cost of doing business. Carolyn was a very media savvy person when she entered this marriage. She worked for Calvin Klein as his
Yeah.
right-hand person. She
Yeah.
was dressing some of the most famous women in the world. You're going to tell me, and she lived in New York City. So she knew. Now, the other thing that interests me about this, and what is similar here is the sort of protestations, right? Meghan Markle, the same. I didn't know who Harry was.
Oh my gosh.
Royal family. We don't have royals in America. I was so unfamiliar. Okay.
Even though we
So,
can go back and look at the TIG where she writes a blog post about Catherine's wedding in the TIG, and she's clearly envious. She's like, she doesn't understand the hype around Catherine's wedding. Then she has her own, and it's her second wedding needs to be televised for all of us to see. Like, that is such. But what I wanted to say, really, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but yeah, I do believe Carolyn Bessette was like, paparazzi. But Meghan was calling them as she exited the yoga studio in Toronto. And I would bet cash money that she's called them since she's moved to the United States post royal life.
I mean, Kinsey, really, how many paparazzi are rolling around the streets of Montecito? I'm going to guess it's a lot like out where I am on the east end of Long Island. The paparazzi don't come out here. It's
Mm-hmm.
just not the done thing. If
Yeah.
you are a Jennifer Lopez getting photographed by paparazzi on Main Street in East Hampton and then yelling at them for it is because you called them and told them where you were at what time so that you could yell at them and do this big performance. And I think that's when we see Meghan, my favorite Meghan, rolling around town in her $1,200 camel wool Max Mara wool cashmere blend coat, ankle sweep. It sweeps the floor because she's so short. In the dead of spring or summer, that's my favorite Meghan.
Oh, my favorite Meghan is when she's hiking wearing dead Princess Diana's jewelry. Like,
Could she just do a Thanksgiving special, a very Marie Antoinette Netflix Thanksgiving special, shoving Diana's Cartier tank and her aquamarine ring into the guts of a chicken and pulling out the innards? Give me some television, lady.
That is hilarious. I don't think we're getting that on the Christmas special, but that makes me, if we can't create that with Chat GPT, I'm disappointed in us. Okay.
Same.
I feel like that needs to be done. Did you have any other thoughts on this before I move on to the next one?
Yeah, just that what a drag. What a drag that Tina Brown, who has a silver tongue and a silver bullet in her back pocket, is towing this line and, shilling out these cliches on CNN. None of it's the truth. It's a bummer.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a bummer. And if you are curious about the Kennedy family, Ask Not is my favorite. I have it on audio and a physical copy, but it's the best source. So don't watch the JFK thing on CNN. Don't do that,
And women of America and the Western world, do not date a Kennedy, let alone marry a Kennedy. Just don't do it.
Oh my gosh. You know what? Can I tell you something I'm ashamed of? I think I still would.
Like which one? Tell me which one. Because I can think of, here. To me, Patrick Schwarzenegger he's like, if JFK, John F. Kennedy, President Kennedy was like was as good looking as the media has always said he was. It's like he got all the best genes. He's like the closest looking to a JFK, which is interesting to me, given that he's got those Schwarzenegger genes, which are those Kennedy jaws and the Schwarzenegger jaws. I always wondered how those kids would turn out. I thought they would have like mammoth jaws.
Right.
But Patrick Schwarzenegger is a good looking guy.
No, just the maid's kid has the mammoth jaws. The poor maid's kid was not invited to Patrick's wedding this weekend.
Maria Shriver, that big Christian with her big Christian business. This poor guy, he's like 29. He'll be collecting Social Security. He'll still be on the outs.
Oh,
he's better off.
Poor guy. You're right. He is better off away from the chaos. All right. So there was a fun piece in the LA Times. Meghan Markle should go back to acting instead of making with love Meghan. And this was kind of like a rare swipe from the industry. And I say rare because usually the hostile media is coming from the UK. And also with love season 2 kind of came and went and no one cared. Like, I mean, I'm sure you felt the same way where it was just kind of like blink and you'll miss it. Didn't make the top 10. So it says, here's a surprise. Season 2 with Love Meghan did not crack Netflix's top 10 after its premiere last week. I admit to being part of the problem. And blah, blah. This is a fun piece. Go look it up if you want to. I'm not going to read it all here because we have Maureen Callahan, who's much more entertaining. I take no pleasure in hating with Love Meghan. Markle is a local gal who inarguably got a very bum deal in her early married life. And I honestly want her to succeed, but maybe she would be better off returning to her previous profession, acting. And then she lists off some things Meghan could do, like Bridgerton. And she was like, she could not only star in Bridgerton, she could be a consultant. And it's kind of a tongue-in-cheek article. But I was like, I bet Maureen and I have some pretty decent ideas about what Meghan could do if she went back to acting. Number one being like, does Tyler Perry not have enough going on?
So this is interesting. First of all, this article says that Meghan got a bum deal.
Yeah, right.
I'm sorry, she got a $40 million wedding.
Yeah,
she got
exactly.
the cover of Vanity Fair. She suddenly became a global star where her acting talents were never going to get her. How
this
did
is
she
a
get
deal
a bum
or no
deal?
deal girl. Deal or
she
no
was
deal
the suitcase girl. She was the objectified. Sorry, Kinsey. Objectified suitcase. They weren't after her brain. So I don't know about that acting. I just think that door is well and truly closed to her. But who would you would think even maybe like a Ryan Murphy could help her lean into the camp of where she is right now in the culture.
Yeah.
But I just think she's too radioactive. And I've heard as I'm sure you have, that she's just too difficult to deal with.
Yes. Yeah. I think that you're right there. But it was reported that the cast of Suits LA and the production behind Suits LA was disappointed and or angry with her that she wouldn't do a cameo in Suits in LA after it was announced that it was canceled, because they thought that blitz, that PR blitz that she would have brought could have attracted some eyeballs to Suits LA. I watched it. I thought it was kind of fun. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched it and I thought it was kind of fun, much more fun than the original Suits, which I couldn't stand and I couldn't get through. It was about LA talent and like signing deals and stealing talent from other people. And I thought, oh yeah, I like, this is way more interesting than the Meghan Markle Suits. So I did hear that they were upset that she wouldn't do a cameo, especially when they were canceled. They were like, it was a no-brainer. And I think I've said to you before, how does she not have any of the cast of Suits on With Love Meghan? If you, I mean, how do you miss that opportunity when every story in 2024, end of 2023, 2024, was how Suits was re-blowing up? That's why they got the LA reboot, because everybody was watching it on streaming for the first time in 2023, 2024. How do you not take advantage of that and reunite with some of your old cast members on With Love Meghan, where you'd actually be around people you knew and you could actually revisit some old memories versus not knowing that your makeup artist is left-handed?
Oh my God. Daniel, never forget. It's interesting too, because I think the only person she's truly friends with from Suits, which I never really watched, but is an actress named Abigail Spencer,
Yeah.
who was clearly not invited, or maybe was
Wait,
invited and
she was in
declined.
season one. She was in
Oh,
season
she
one.
was in season one.
Yeah.
Okay, so she was in season one. So, but I will say this about Abigail Spencer was in an incredible show. It aired on the Sundance Channel, and it didn't really do much, but it was so good. It was called Rectify, and it was about a young guy getting out of solitary confinement for the murder of his teenage girlfriend when they were both in high school. And the question that hangs over the entire series, it's limited, it's only 2 or 3 seasons, is did he do it? Did he do it? And it's fascinating. And she plays the sister, and she was really good in it. I loved that show. But yeah, I mean, Meghan, even season 2, this is, what it reminds me of? The VMAs were this weekend, the MTV VMAs, and nobody cared.
Yeah, I was like, God, how old am I that I don't like care about any of this stuff? I mean, I honestly think I would have cared if they brought Britney Spears back, but apparently she's in the middle of another episode.
Yeah.
I'm constantly worried about her. So I don't think she's in the right headspace for something like that. I know Justin Timberlake just announced his lupus, but like, I'd take another NSYNC reunion. I'm just too old. I don't care about it at all anymore.
But I don't think it's a generational thing. I just don't think it has the place in the culture it once did. It aired on CBS, not MTV.
Yeah.
It was held in an arena like smack in the middle of Long Island.
No.
Like that's a hall on the same weekend of the US Open finals. That's like when every New Yorker's like, just get me out of here. So it was strange, but I mentioned that because around this time when season 1 of With Love Meghan dropped, remember she took to Instagram really quickly and she's so not funny, and she leans into these really bad dad puns. She posted "Let us rejoice" for season 2, but it was lettuce, like lettuce in a salad.
Yeah.
And I got a season 2, but it wasn't season 2, it was season 1 part B. But it was around this time, and if this was such a great thing, wouldn't Netflix have just been like, yeah, we're gung-ho on season 3? Instead she's sitting and stewing in her juices of rage and regret in Montecito while her husband is out of her sight, out of mind, out of sight over in the UK, trying to get in good with his father.
Yeah. And don't forget, today, as we record this, Samantha Markle and Meghan Markle's attorneys are duking it out in Atlanta because Samantha wants the appeals court to see in her favor that she can move forward with her defamation case. So there are definitely plates breaking in Montecito today. I know that's so cliche to say, but I mean, we obviously know she spends a lot of time in her kitchen thanks to With Love Meghan. So
Hi,
I think
Meghan, we know you're watching. We know you're watching.
Exactly.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm not sure which way they're going to fight in court today in Atlanta to try to get that appealed so that Samantha can move forward with the defamation case, but the judge won't make a decision today. Like it'll be a few days from now. And apparently it's seen by multiple judges and they'll determine, but Meghan could go to court. Meghan could end up having to pay her sister out for damages. So I don't think it's been the year of the Markle sparkle that Page Six tried to prepare us for at the end of 2024.
The Markle sparkle, which like that came from Meghan Markle, right?
Well, I do believe it came from Meghan Markle, but there were Meghan talks about how racist the UK is. There were signs all over Sweet Windsor the day she married Harry that said, Markle sparkle, and all of the people celebrating, all the racist Britons celebrating Meghan.
Right, lining the streets.
Yeah,
hundreds of people deep.
That were paying for it, by the way, that were paying for this godforsaken wedding, this godforsaken union, Meghan's second wedding.
Cheering them on, looking at this young modern couple with a biracial American actress, and what a breath of fresh air, But like, it's just, it doesn't work because I think that Meghan's true resting nature is in victimhood.
Yeah.
You either have to valorize her, and no amount of compliments are enough, because like you can pay homage, you can kiss the ring, but you also have to acknowledge her victimhood.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think at the end of the day, the ultimate problem was, I think she's incredibly sensitive and insecure. And I just don't think she could handle how her own insecurities, Paul Burrell talks about in his new book that she was livid over seeing Catherine's living arrangements compared to her. And, it's like, have a little patience, and don't take everything so personally. It's like, just chill out. But something you said just reminded me of when you were talking about the Bloomberg interview and the word salad. Like, the fact that she keeps saying she didn't have a voice. She has one now. She's had one for 5 years. And you talk about the victimhood. We've talked about how she's basically let go of all of these causes that were meaningful to her years ago. What has she done with that voice? You have it. You're free to talk to whoever, whenever. What has she done with it that is meaningful at all since she left the royal family?
This is such a great point, and I think she keeps returning to this. I didn't have a voice, I don't have a voice, but now I found my voice and I get to use my voice, and that's so exciting. Watch what I say next, because now I'm using my voice. Yes, she has vocal cords. She has a voice box. It's operational. It works. But the problem is she doesn't have anything to say. Yeah. It's the difference between hearing somebody and actually listening to somebody. Like, you can biologically hear what they're saying, but your attention can be elsewhere. She opens her mouth and words come out, but they are content free. And it's because she doesn't know herself. And what she does know of herself, she does not like. She probably doesn't like it any more than we do. And so we get this useless B-roll of her walking through a bookstore with Emily. Again, the cognitive dissonance, the Bloomberg interview. This is one of my favorite places I'm taking you to, my local bookstore. I love it. Oh, what are you reading? I don't have time to read.
Oh my God. It's
so you're
insane.
telling me you hang out in a bookstore on the regular, but you're not reading, let alone buying books? What are we doing
just
here?
say the summer I turned pretty. It's what all of us are talking about. I mean, just give the bare minimum answer. No, that is insane. And then she denies getting political. She's like, well, I haven't been getting political since blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, it wasn't the last election, but the election before. She literally sat on the Time 100 show on ABC and through some choreographed verbiage, told everybody to vote for Joe Biden. Do you remember that? It's like, actually, you are still getting political, girl.
Remember when she and Harry released, it was during COVID. So everybody's in lockdown in their small homes. And these two are in their, garden the size of Central Park doing a video. And in the video, Meghan's telling us how important it is to vote. And how important it is to use our voices and America fought a war against your husband's country for the right to vote. I think we know.
We
Meghan.
got it. We got it.
I think we got
Also,
that memo.
in that for her to say she hasn't gotten political because she references the Larry Whitmore show that she was on, and then she's like, "Oh, I haven't gotten political," and blah blah blah. And it's like, actually, you did an event with Michelle Obama, Kamala Harris, and Stacey Abrams and Hillary Clinton. Not only did you get political, but we know exactly what side of the aisle you're on based on you are who you associate with, and based on that, like why does Emily not push back if you're not prepared to talk to this person and if you're going to ask them specific questions, be prepared to know the backstory behind them so that you can challenge that person and say, oh, that's interesting because I remember when you did the voting event, the digital voting event with Kamala and Michelle Obama and Hillary, like, but no pushback ever, no pushback whatsoever. It's just I can't watch those. You and I are paid to do it for work, but I cannot watch those interviews as a consumer. And why does a boss in a newsroom not go, this is garbage?
I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, what was really uncomfortable, if I didn't have to watch that thing, I would have tapped out 5 minutes in at most. Emily sits there, and the desperation coming off of Emily for Meghan to like her is
Ugh.
embarrassing. It is embarrassing. And Meghan starts insulting Emily, who's lobbing softball after softball. And she says to Emily as they're having their smash burger, she goes, "Oh, you've got a lot of burning questions, don't you? Emily, find your spine. Tell this woman, hey, I'm sitting here trying to give you publicity for your failing business. You won't give us the metrics. Okay." And to your point, when Meghan's like, when Emily asks about, this is coded for MAGA, Trump, etc., are there things you wish you could say that you're just dying to say or do that you can't? And Meghan's eyes go black and the mask slips. Meghan is pissed. She's so angry. And she's like, no, no. If I want to say something, I say something, and I don't want to say anything anymore. And then she's like, "Oh, I did Larry Wilmore. I can't believe I did Larry Wilmore. As you said, calling the Paps up in Canada." And she's like, Larry, Republicans lost the female vote by 12% last year, and that is a lot."
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, so you Wikipedia'd that and you memorized it and you put on your red lipstick, and now we're a political genius over here. And I just wish, if Meghan had, again, a shred of authenticity, she would have answers at the ready for questions such as these. And it would be something akin to, oh, that famous Michael Jordan quote, "Republicans buy Nikes too."
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm in a lane now where I'm trying to talk to women across America, no matter what their political affiliation. And I've been humbled by that. And I've learned that nobody wants to hear it coming out of my mouth. So I've decided to zip it. But she's
Mm.
never going to zip it.
No, you're right. I mean, that would have been such a likable moment if she would have said, like, look, I'm trying to appeal to everybody. That would have been an
Mhm.
honest moment. I wish I could remember the outlet. Maybe you remember the outlet, but Meghan, when this outlet started, they did a launch at South by Southwest where Meghan was at, like the 19 something, and it's a female driven media outlet. But maybe it's an interview with them. But if you watch interviews with Meghan Markle when she first moved to the States and everybody was doing a lot of digital videos and Meghan was doing a lot of digital interviews too, she did an interview with this outlet and maybe she's an investor in them as well. But she talks about some of the books she reads. And I remember thinking, like, oh God, she's really trying to sound impressive, listing off all of these books that she used to talk a lot. I'm reading this book and it was about the women. Actually, I think I know exactly what it was about. She was reading a book about women fighting for their right to vote. And she was talking about this. And it's just so strange to maybe she has truly changed, but part of the reason, and we say this every episode, is that lack of consistency and authenticity. Either you're this woman who is reading books left and right and you just are eating up all of this knowledge and it's making, and that we know you're smart because you're reading these books and you're telling us you're smart because you're taking away these points from these books, or you're walking through this bookstore going, I just have time to read. I've got flower sprinkles to sprinkle on everything on my TV show. It's like, who are you? That's why no one can stand you. It's because we have no idea who you are.
She's reading a book about women fighting for the right to vote. What book? Like that sounds so boring. It's so boring. It's nothing you voluntarily read in your free time, unless you're somebody, you know who else comes off as super inauthentic on the stage, and she has since taken a step back, but Chelsea Clinton used to be like this.
Oh,
Chelsea Clinton, just the ultimate, not like a replicant, like a Blade Runner replicant, formed in a lab by two career politicians. You know, she used to go on The View. She would co-write these books with her mother. She's another professional child, and she'd be asked to question anything, a softball, you know, and she'd be like, "Well, on the one hand, this, and on the other hand, that," you know, and you're just like, I'm bored out of my effing mind. Say something interesting, say something provocative, say you're reading something interesting, say you've read an interesting article. You know, Meghan, you may not have time to read books because you've got 80 crew members in your rented kitchen trying to assemble a show that is unwatchable, but you must have time in your downtime to pick up your phone and read an interesting article. Do you
mm,
not?
yeah, right. Didn't the Today Show give Chelsea like an ungodly amount of money and then she never did anything for them?
This is one of my favorite Chelsea Clinton stories, and it was memorialized in a book about the Clintons. It might have been Clinton Cash, I'm not sure, but they said that she was trying to get an on-air job, a job as on-air talent
She's
at a
trying to
news
Jenna
network.
Bush it, trying to Jenna Bush it.
And one Jenna Bush is enough. It's
I know.
enough. Okay.
For the love of God, for the love of God. I had Billy on the show, so I better be
I saw
kind.
that.
I
But
better be
Billy's
nice.
actually a talented broadcaster. You know, he's
Yeah,
got a sense of humor.
right.
Okay. So, yeah, it's my personal mission to destroy morning television. It's a lot, Kinsey. It's a
Well,
lot,
I
but
watch
I'm
you.
doing it.
I don't watch them, so I think it's working because I turn on you. I don't turn on them anymore. I used to turn
Oh,
them. I loved
thanks.
Kathy Lee. I
I
loved
did too.
Kathy Lee.
I did too. And you know what I heard routinely from people who would go up to 30 Rock? She was the nicest one.
Mm.
Hoda, major B,
Oh
major.
wow.
Kathy Lee, the loveliest person, remembers everybody's name, says hello, how are you, actively engages. So anyway, Chelsea took herself up to NBC and met with the executives, and all of the executives were like, Chelsea Clinton is the most boring, the most unappealing, and she sat in that room and acted as if she was doing us the favor by allowing us to interview her for a multi-million glamour job on air. And then she got it, and then Brian Williams had her on his short-lived primetime network news magazine show called 30 Rock, I
Mhm.
think. And she interviewed Judy Blume, and she turned interviewing one of the most provocative, controversial female authors in America into a snooze fest.
Oh no. So she just got paid to go away then. I like
Mhm.
people failing up. That's like when I'm standing at the gates and God's like, what lessons did you learn? I'll be like that. I didn't fail up, but everybody else did.
I mean, I think there's fail. You can only fail up to a certain point, and then you hit it and you go down. Like Chelsea did really take a note from the culture and has largely receded, though she may be running for office against Jack Schlossberg. Which, please, I hope both of them do it. Please do it. Just for the kicks, just for the
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think Meghan, she's the culture and commerce. You know, Netflix Inc., all of it, the Royals Inc., all of it have given her the note, stay away. And you have to wonder too. I mean, given everything that Catherine, Princess of Wales, has been through, King Charles, you know, they really, Harry and Meghan did the royals such a favor by leaving voluntarily. Could
Yes.
you imagine having this woman in your circle on any level, periphery, whatever, the gnat constantly buzzing and gnawing and like just emanating that dark energy? They did them such a favor.
Amen to that. I always say, like, had they just been patient, they could have been the stars of the show, but thank God they're not. They don't deserve it. They wouldn't have handled it well. They would have, they would have caused so many problems behind the scenes. And they say that stress makes you sicker. That's why I'm like, no, I don't want a royal reunion this week. Okay. I know you've been so gracious with your time, but I can't let you go without asking you about
Yes.
this crazy ass story. Kris Jenner can be a
Oh yeah.
huge help. It can be a huge help to boost Meghan Markle's failing career, but it will cost her. It says Meghan is scrambling to drum up more dough and salvage what's left of her Hollywood dream. So she's cozying up to the Kardashians, which we've seen. We saw pictures of Kris and Doria. We saw Khloe not tag Meghan, but post pictures of a basket Meghan sent over to her house on Kylie's birthday. It says Kris Jenner is plotting to milk her desperation all the way to the bank. She's happy to throw a life preserver to the former Deal or No Deal briefcase girl, but she wants a ton of favors in return. The business whiz aims to use Meghan as a publicity puppet to promote her daughter's products and enlist her for a ratings grabbing appearance on her reality show. So basically, long story short, the source says Meghan is going to Kris asking for advice, saying, can you help? I'm on life. My brand's on life support. And Kris is thinking, well, I know exactly what to do. Hopefully Ray J's not involved, but I know exactly what to do. But in return, I want you and Harry on the Kardashians Hulu show, which we never talk about. I mean, I used to talk about keeping up with the Kardashians on I never talk about them since they moved over to Hulu. And then I want you to talk about Skims, and I want you to go on Chloe's podcast. And there's all of these like, you do this for me, I'll do this for you. I have been saying for years, inevitably, this union is going to happen. Kardashians meet Meghan Markle. I just think it's impossible that it doesn't. And maybe Kris is the person that could put a little bit of sparkle back into the Markle. I don't know.
Kinsey, the devil has aboard in Spanx and a fresh facelift. And I think of Montecito now because, Kris was most recently seen with the mistress of dark arts, Oprah Winfrey, and her minion, her platonic friend Gail, dancing at Beyonce's final gig in Las Vegas.
Without Meghan.
Without Meghan. Tyler was there as well. So what I now think is like, I look at those four, Oprah, Gail, Tyler, Kris, and they were also sans Tyler over at the Bezos Sanchez wedding in Venice. I forget the actual name of the apartment. It's this gothic, legendary apartment building in New York where they filmed Rosemary's Baby. I think of all of those people as living in Montecito, the metaphorical Rosemary's Baby complex. And the Ruth Gordon, the chief satanic demonic officer, is one Kris Jenner. And if Meghan Markle moves in to that metaphorical complex, there's no getting out. There's no getting that stench off of her. She is done. So do it. Do it.
Sorry to agree with us, disagree with us. Let us know in the comments below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend. Wait, before you go, odds over under that Prince Harry actually sees King Charles this week.
I never really understood bookmaking, betting.
Oh, I had no idea what I meant when I said that either. Like,
I'm going to say he does not have a meeting. What do you think?
No way in Hades, I think. I don't think there's any way.
Sorry. It would have happened by now, I think. I think it would have happened. We're on day 2.
Yeah. Sorry, not sorry. On Sunday, watch The Nerve.
You can listen on Sunday. Kinsey is one of our special. We've got three and a half panelists. Okay. And including yours truly, that's 4.5. Kinsey is one of our stars and she is coming to play. We were just talking wardrobe options before we hit record on this thing. It's going to be so much fun. And we are giving awards to people the Academy has otherwise ignored. And anyone who listens to the two of us talk regularly will have a sense of who those people might be. We've got props, we've got drinks, we've got troublemakers, we've got it all. It's going to be a banger. Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern. And watch this again on Monday because we're doing a recap on Monday. Kinsey's sticking around in New York City. She's like, this is what we live for. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. When I stop recording, I'm going to show you my dresses because I'm looking at them right now. Oh, I can't wait to see. I'm so excited. Kinsey was like, would it be too much if I came in full glam? And I was like, I want everybody coming like exactly as they are. Like, yes, full glam it up. Be the Southern beauty queen that you are. And you know what, Meghan Markle? I'm bringing pantyhose. Okay. Voluntarily, I'm wearing pantyhose, Meghan. You know, Kinsey, I really got to shake you out of this. You know, you're just a tool of the patriarchy. I'm trying to get a basic skin tone going on your legs because we got a glass desk. Who are you? What's happened? Exactly. The glass desk. And I can't wait to show you my naturalizers that I bought, my old lady heels that I love. Maybe in honor of Meghan, you could bring an old dusty legs canister and like a miniature briefcase with no money in it to pay homage to her Deal or No Deal days. No money, no more money coming from King Charles, honey. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.